Hello everyone, it is Erin Dalia and I'm coming to you live from my 3-foot kitchen in our traveling RV, which is a 25-foot Leisure Unity B plus class RV. And we have been having a super amount of fun, and some of the questions and some of the things that I get asked the most, whether I'm traveling by plane, I'm traveling in the RV, or just in general as a wanderluster, how do I stay so healthy? I'm almost never sick. Well, that's not quite so true. I do get sick quite often with little colds here and there. And so today I wanted to go over some of my favorite preventatives and remedies for how to stay healthy and how to boost your immune system while traveling on the road. Now that's a lot because I'm always being exposed to different peoples. I'm always in different cities and different mountains and different towns. Every 3 or 4 days, I'm somewhere new. And in our new world of everybody's getting colds or sicknesses because we've been away from each other for so long, it's really important to treat not only your body and the symptoms you might have, but also give yourself the opportunity to start really understanding and intuitively feeling what's wrong. And that's what we're going to focus on with some of my favorite remedies today that I keep in my 3-foot kitchen and surrounding spaces. So the first thing I'm going to start with is in 2006, I decided that I was no longer going to participate with the toxic lifestyle. So I've really removed a lot of like sodium lauryl sulfate based soaps, lotions, hair products, washing products, anything you can think of. I have some dear friends who have written some books and done all of the studies to go through how to do that process. It took me about a month to get used to it, to get all the products, to see which ones I liked, which ones I didn't so much like. And you can definitely follow some of the links I'll post below this YouTube video for you to investigate. I really enjoyed their book, and I found that it really helped me take one step at a time for not only all my cleaning supplies, but my personal supplies and my kitchen stuff. So just by starting off, I am a 7th generation processed. So one of the first things I really want to talk about when we're traveling, especially during the summer and spring and fall months, allergies are a really big thing. So is inflammation in the body. And one of the best ways that I actually like to combat that is, and I'm going to pull it right out of my little refrigerator here, bee pollen. Bee pollen is absolutely amazing in that I eat it every day in a shake, or I'll put it in some food really quickly, and I'll eat about a tablespoon to a teaspoon a day, depending on where I'm preemptively going. We just spent 4 days in the Smoky Mountains. There was a lot of pollen going on, so I really boosted my bee pollen count every day in order to help make sure my body was ready to take on a pollen load, whether it was through my sinuses or through my lungs, through my skin. Hiking, being in the lakes, rafting, all those fun things that we love to do means that I'm going to be around more and more bees, pollens. So bees naturally process the pollen and create honey, which brings me to my next step. And one of my favorite things to do is going to farmers markets and local purveyors of foods and herbs and all that kind of fun stuff. And so I do have an assortment of sweeteners. My favorite so far right now is my pure honey, the sourwood version, and the golden blossom honey, which I definitely love. 2 different flavors, so for cooking purposes, super sweets, and for general use purposes, not so much, especially if I'm making teas from some local herbs that I've picked, or in general, just don't want to overpower that flavor. Now, I do not use refined sugars at all. In fact, I am very, very precautious about when I choose to ingest a refined sugar. So be that ice cream, marshmallows around the fire, a bit of candy here and there, and chocolates. I definitely make sure that I'm not doing it weekly or daily. That's a really big thing because it keeps my GI tract, it keeps my joints and swelling to a minimum, which allows me to process and take on more natural nutrition. So my day-to-day sweetener outside of honey, blue agave. I love agave nectar. I use it all the time. I use it when I'm at Starbucks. I use it when I am cooking and baking. I make my granolas with it and honey, all that kind of stuff. It has multiple purposes to it. And because I'm not eating a lot of sweetened things throughout the day, I generally don't do more than a tablespoon of it eaten a day. So definitely something to keep in mind in your kitchen if you're getting ready to remove, let's say, white sugars, artificial sweeteners. Some of the other things I do use in my kitchen is stevia. Now, I personally don't like stevia, but my partner Brian does. So I personally don't care for stevia. To me, it tastes like crushed up Tylenol, or those pills you got when you were a child, which generally means that you have a light allergy to it and you should not use it. Stevia, especially this brand here, which doesn't have any fillers, it's just pure natural stevia, so no dextrins, no maltodextrins, none of that kind of stuff, is another great sweetener for those who really like it sweet and definitely cannot handle agave nectar. So as we continue to follow through the kitchen, my next thing that I do almost every morning, and I mix it up, is every morning I have a half cup, half mug, which is about a cup of liquid, of warm, room temperature, a little warmer water. Sometimes I do it with molasses, unsalted blackstrap molasses, water or lemon, depending on if I've been really heavy the night before. As a female going through my cycles, the molasses gives me a lot of calcium, potassium, and iron, which, you know, getting your nutrition through food is a lot of work. And once you get into that flow, it becomes less work and your body starts to really crave it, which is telling me that I'm on the right path and intuitively listening to what I'm listening, or what my body's craving, what my mind is craving. So when I know that I am going to be low in iron, I need to boost my calcium, I don't do a lot of dairy products, I am a molasses person. So whether you cook with it or you ingest it, I do about 1 tablespoon in my mug with some cinnamon powder, which makes it taste like a fun fall drink. And Brian and I definitely love it almost every morning prior to doing our coffee. So when we wake up, we have some water, and we go straight to our molasses tea, so that our body is absorbing the most amount of nutrition you can possibly do in that setting. The other thing I do for me regularly is I use trace mineral drops, which are super important in that I put this in my water all the time, whether it is in my Yeti, which anyone who knows me knows I've almost always got my Yeti on me, I'm always using it. But trace mineral drops help me get those other minerals that, you know, are naturally occurring. Even as a barefoot person, I can only get so much that way. I'm not meditating in the dirt every day. I do the trace minerals. Not only do they make my water taste better to me, like more like wet, not so dry, doesn't leave me perched afterwards, but it also makes my body feel better. It makes my skin feel better. I have more cardiovascular health from it, and just in general, overall health, which is important. So cheers to that, right? One of the next things I wanted to touch on is cooking oils. I am pretty snobby, especially when it comes to my foods and what I put in and on my body. So I read this amazing book called Extra Virginity, and it is a very detailed book about olive oils and oils in general when they come from outside of our own country. The United States is great for a lot of reasons, because we sit there and say, okay, if you're going to market it, it has to be that. And the great part about that is that you can get the time to understand that when you buy things like olive oil made in California that are 100% extra virgin olive oil, it's not cut with something else, which unfortunately other processors and distributors tend to cut their olive oil with grapeseed oils and corn oils, and Lord only knows because they don't disclose it. Because once it's packaged here in the States, it's just olive oil to us. That's the way they received it. They are not responsible for putting anything else that might be in that olive oil coming from another country. So just things to keep in mind. I am a huge fan of this California Olive Ranch 100% California 100% olive oil, not a blend from any other country. Massively important. And I use this from everything to making like oils with herbs, mannequin it, so they'll marinate for a while, say like an oregano or something if I'm making a medicinal herb or something to put on my skin. This is where I go to. And my other go-to, coconut oil. Coconut oil is amazing. I cook with it, I eat it, I use it in my hair, I use it on my skin, I use it to soothe sunburns. It has got so many applications. It does have a lower flash point, so if you are going to cook with it, I like to do more eggs and things like that. It's definitely got a ton of omegas in it. It's got extra proteins in it. So if you overcook it, you're probably going to destroy a lot of that nutritional value. But as far as hair and your skin, on salads, whatever it may be, coconut oil is my next absolute go-to. My other favorite things in life right now are my own mushroom blend. I love this stuff. I highly recommend this stuff as well. The own mushroom blend is beautiful in that I put it in my shakes. I put it in some of the juices that I make, and I'll shoot it. Maybe not the best tasting stuff in the world, but I don't have to slowly drink it. I can drink it all in one shot. It does give me that kind of clarity in my mind. It gives me a lot of boost in nutrition. So in the midday, I tend to do my mushroom boost because in the morning, I'm getting all these vitamins and minerals from my juices and my foods and my shakes and whatever it is. And so I'll save this for the afternoon when my body is ready to take on that next level of nutrition. Massively important. My other favorite thing in the kitchen, trying to get protein, working out regularly, hemp seeds. The Manitoba Harvest hemp seeds are my favorite. I use them in legitimately everything. Shakes, salads, sandwiches, you name it, I'm tucking these puppies in. Serving size is about 3 tablespoons. Not that I always use full 3 tablespoons, but in a full 3 tablespoons, we are getting 10 grams of protein, which is amazing. It is plant-based, so you are kind of saving yourself that animal protein. I try not to put animal protein in every meal I do every day. I do a lot of vegetarian options, but not vegan. I do eat dairy stuff, so not completely, but balanced. And listen to my body. When I am craving chicken, I'm going to eat the chicken. When I'm craving, salads and things like that, I'm going to fortify it with hemp seeds, sunflower seeds, chia seeds, flax seeds. It also helps clean out my GI. So it's important every day to have some type of seed to help make sure that your intestinal system is staying clean and you're receiving additional nutrition. Good things. And now I'm going to get to my favorite part. So my medicine cabinet is not stocked up with what you would traditionally think. I do have some antihistamines. I do have some preventatives for actual, maybe anti-diarrhea, Tylenol, ibuprofen, just in case. But I don't run to those a lot. I try to treat my body accordingly daily. And in the evening, one of the things I like the most is teas. I am a huge drinker of teas. The Buddha tea series tends to be my favorite, whether it's the mushroom wellness, the chaga, the elderberry tea. I also drink chamomiles and peppermints, all those fun things. I even have some of these very fun blueberry leaf tea from Williams Farms, which actually helps with a lot of inflammation. It helps around my cycle, which I love a lot, and it has a lot of antioxidants in it. So granted, a lot of teas and a lot of tinctures and a lot of medicine, natural plant medicine, also has that added benefit of antioxidants, additional vitamins, and additional minerals, which are all things that are really helping you stay healthier every day. And by removing toxins and free-floating things that aren't doing you any good in your body regularly, your immune system is not working as hard to keep you healthy. So definitely things you can add, whether you make it ahead of time and chill it for the summer months, or you use it in the evening to kind of clean and calm your digestive system and give yourself a little extra hydration before bed. So how do I treat common colds? And even when we've had some serious allergy attacks and my sinuses are plugged up or my lungs are feeling kind of gross or I'm just feeling really run down, there are some emergency things that I run to first before I go to a traditional Western medicine cabinet. So I'm going to bring you over to currently my favorite tinctures. Colloidal silver. So some really interesting facts about colloidal silver is in most states you can get this at anywhere, CVS, local wellness store, Whole Foods has it generally, and you can get it on Amazon, which I specifically love. I like the 30 parts per million because I don't want to use a lot of it. I'd like to have that potency right away, and it's amazing. But not every state treats colloidal silver as like a tincture, as a non-medicine based. Some states actually recognize colloidal silver as a type of medicine, and you are required to go to your doctor to get a prescription for it. I found that most interesting lately, and so I've made it a point to ensure that I travel with my favorite tinctures so that if I get sick while I'm in another state that I'm not familiar with, I'm not running out of these things. Colloidal silver I use depending on what it is. Now, if it's a cut, I'll put it in an open cut. Generally, I put the recommended dosage amount, which is about 10 to 20 drops underneath my tongue. Let it sit there until I count to 50 and then swallow. You can also put this in some saline water, a distilled saline water that I will use in a neti pot if I'm feeling it in my sinuses. And I generally take it as it is, though. I don't usually mix it in a shake or anything of that nature because I want it to go straight into my lymphatic system, straight into my blood system, and it will go throughout my system and treat a lot of infections. If I've had strep, if I feel like my lymph nodes are swollen in any way, if I feel like I'm coming down with postnasal drip. And I won't do this for more than 7 to 10 days. At any point, if you're taking a natural remedy and you're taking it for longer than 7 to 10 days to treat your symptoms, then you might want to talk to your doctor, a Western medical doctor or another level of doctor, that you might need something stronger than this because you might have a more serious thing going on. So just, rule of thumb, and in any way, 7 to 10 days of taking something that's boosting your immune system will start becoming dependent on it. And that is not good. So all of y'all taking the antihistamines and things out there, you're taking it month to month to month, and when you come off of it, you get sick for a while. It's because your immune system is coming back online in its full and true purpose. It has been suppressed and or boosted in some way to prevent you from having a reaction that you find unpleasant. So learning to get your body back up with bee pollens and honeys and things like that, other natural remedies where you can expose yourself to these allergens and or dealing with the emotions that might be behind your allergies, which is another video for another day, can actually release those physical reactions. So mind-body connection right there, folks. My next favorite one is the echinacea and golden seal. I also use this in the same kind of way, but I will put this in some juice, or definitely some juice because it doesn't taste all that great. I like to get mine alcohol free. It's done in a different type of distillation process. If you do get the alcohol, it doesn't really matter. It's a taste thing, so it's totally personal. I put it in some quick juice, some quick amount of water, and poof, right on back. I will mix this with the mushroom and a little bit of juice. I will do the colloidal silver first and then put some of this back and definitely call it a day. So the next thing I love, and I get the super, super distilled version, is wild oregano oil. Oregano and thyme, outside of garlic and basil, but thyme and oregano in general are the most amazing antiviral, anti-infection, yummy goodness, tinctures, oils, natural remedies of the world. This stuff is seriously potent. I have used it to treat goats on a farm. I've used it to treat myself, my family, my friends. I used it to get through COVID, and I'll go over some of those other natural processes in a different video. But I use this a lot. I do recommend that you read your bottle before you do it. Some are not as strong as other in their distillations because it is a very exceeding process. You're looking at like a huge harvest, 2 to 3 bales, big baskets of oregano to make this tiny little bottle. So you definitely want to pay attention to how to use it. It's not going to taste that great. Again, I put it in some juice and I will drink it, and I will wait 5 to 10 minutes for my system to absorb it before I go and take, let's say, the echinacea or, the golden seal, or the colloidal silver, because I do take the time to make sure that my body is absorbing everything I'm putting in it before you build on top of each other. Your body only has so many receptors in your digestive tract and your blood at one time in order to absorb. And because we're taking this right into the stomach, it's not really going to get too far into the intestinal tract. So we want to give it time to be absorbed, to get in there, to mix it up, and then move on to free up those receptors for other types of medicine. Definitely something to think about as you're going. If you're putting it all in one and shooting it like some massive cocktail, might not work the best for you. Food for thought. The next one I use is neem cure. Neem oil is amazing. You can use it for so many things, legitimately. I use it in my garden. It's a natural pesticide. It's a natural herbicide. It is amazing. In the garden setting, different than this bottle, I go to my garden store, I get it, I mix it up with some water in a bottle and spray it all over my plants. Keeps silkworms away, it keeps beetles away, it keeps fungus away. I keep it off of all my plants and my garden, and it is safe to eat. At that point, once it rains, it falls off the plant, goes back into Mother Nature. It's not harming anybody. It's not like destroying cultures of bacteria in the ground. It is naturally absorbed back in again. The other thing you can use is this neem cure is also topical. Now, I don't suggest eating neem unless you're really good at what you're doing and it's very pure and it's a therapeutic grade oil. And let's just dive into that very quickly. The difference between the oils a massage therapists use on your skin versus the stuff that I am talking about putting in your body is they are distilled to a point of a therapeutic grade. They are a medicine. They are not a candy or a toy. Yes, you can put them on your skin, but not everything you put on your skin can go in your body. The bottle will tell you whether or not it can be safely orally accepted. Just keep that in mind so that you're reading things. You can ask questions in this video. You can contact me directly if you have any questions, or contact your local holistic provider. I am sure they will be more than happy to help you. Neem care is great for skin stuff. Itches, rashes, eczema, yeast infections on their topical skin. Ladies, not in your little bits, please. All that kind of fun stuff on your face, infections. It's great for a lot of treatment. So is tea tree oil, but my go-to this year right now has been the neem oil. I've just been super impressed with everything. So my other personal favorite, especially out there, and this is obviously going to be a little bit depending on where you live and what you believe in, is I keep a little bit of a THC oil with me everywhere I go. Now, do I do this every day? Do I microdose? No. I do prefer to stay as sober as possible throughout my days. Doesn't mean I haven't done it in the past, and anyone who's watched any of my videos, my 20s were crazy. I did a lot of that kind of stuff. But now I'm in my 40s, and I learned from a lot of islanders how they use the plant itself and its distilled versions for healing. This particular oil is great when you take it when you are sick. If you have the flu, if you have a cold. I had COVID and I lost all sense of taste and smell, which means I was eating like tactile eating. And this really helped me gain appetite. It helped me deal with all the aches and pains. I've taken this when I've had the flu years ago, when I had COVID earlier this year. I take this when I have massive headaches, when I'm around my cycle and I'm really not feeling hungry. It makes me hungry. It deals with a lot of inflammation. It's got a lot of intense and good purposes for use. So I highly recommend you do your homework. I have the Delta 8 Sativa blend, so it's definitely more of a focusing, calming, relaxing. I'll put a little bit of this in some tea and definitely give it out, telling people what it is if they need to have that dial back. Because when we are in stress and when we are in anxiety, we do tend to have a little bit more inflammation in the world, in our bodies, in our minds, and just coming down. Because if you're a serious meditator, then great, and if not, you need a little help, or you're just not feeling it, I have some THC oil or CBD, depends on what you love, to each their own, but it's definitely in my kitchen. Some of the other things that I like to keep around is I'm always finding these natural herbal remedies. I've recently been given this plant, which I totally thought was a weed, and I'm gonna have to ask them again what it is, because I don't remember. But I have an empty glass colored bottle and rubbing alcohol. I will take the rubbing alcohol and I will put it in the bottle and I will cover up broken bits of that plant, leave it for a few days, and use it as a spray on things that have bitten me, bee stings, all that kind of fun stuff. When you leave an herb like that in a rubbing alcohol, it is a topical treatment. If you leave it in like a jojoba oil or an olive oil, those can be eaten orally if those oils are therapeutic grade or available to be eaten. So just a little bit about, how you can make some of your own natural remedies if you're not an herbalist and you're not a forager or anything in between. Just some good fun facts. Wow, I feel like I've been talking forever, and I feel like I've given you a lot of really fun, easy to store opportunities to regularly boost your body, to give yourself the nutrition, the vitamins and the minerals that you need every day in order to support your body through its growth and change. And always keeping a mental and emotional clarity and focus is a big part of keeping your physical body healthy. So I will be coming to you with more food, more fun, and more health tips for the future. From now until then, my friends, so much light, so much love. Have a great day. Thank you so much for watching my video today. I hope that it has brought so much happiness and tastiness into your lives and homes. And with that said, subscribe to this channel so that you can follow along as I adventure in our RV and throughout the many kitchens that I get invited to, bringing you farm to table yummy goodness and healthy and inspiring ideas. Also like this video so that you can have it in your repertoire to share it with your friends and other family members who might find it valuable, and ring that bell so that you get notified about when there is more to come. From now until then, my friends, so much light, so much love, so much food. Have a great day.